Welcome to Bill Builds, and today we're going to be bending some plywood to make a laptop stand for your couch. So, what I'm looking to do is take this scrap piece of plywood. I think I'm going to have to use the longer one, but what I want to do is cut about 10 inches in, and then cut like a strip that's 10 inches long, wide rather, and then make a bunch of curve cuts, and then kind of bend it. Right, so basically what that'll do is you put a bunch of slots in here that won't go all the way through, it'll only go about halfway, and then we'll just slowly bend the plywood until it's the proper bend radius that I want. And I'm hoping that I should be able to glue that up, and that should stay. We'll have some gaps at the end, which we might be able to fill with either wood filler or I'm thinking edge bending, but I don't know how I'm going to bend that yet. But yeah, that should be a good experiment, I think. I've never done it before, and it should be fun. To give you somewhat of an idea of what I'm doing, I did some practice pieces on the table saw to get some of the stuff right, and this is what I was doing. I was cutting a bunch of slots. I wet the top here so those fibers would stretch a bit. Basically, you cut a bunch, and then you bend it, and then you glue it like this. And you get a nice curve on the top here. But these are the gaps I was talking about. I think I can just put a bunch of glue in here and just squeeze it and hope this stays. But I think what I want to do is maybe put something here. I don't know yet. I have to figure out what I have to do here. I don't know, but this is the idea. This is a test piece, but this is basically what I'm going to do. It's going to look super cool. So I measured my laptop. I have a MacBook Pro. It's the 16-inch model. So I wanted it to be at least this wide, so when I'm on the couch or whatever, it can at least cover the width of the whole laptop. So what I'm going to do is, you see here I put 2 arrows. I'm going to cut the slots. I think I need to cut 9 of them. At least according to my test piece, which is drawing now, it's giving me the right angle I want. So I'm going to cut 9 in this direction and then 9 in this direction. And I have the spacing set up on the table already, so just got to cut these out, and that's the project, man. It's really simple. The glue up should be pretty easy. I think I can just use a strap, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's get this cut out. Alright, so now we have those cut. I think... So I already tried wetting this side, and it breaks a little bit. But that's okay, nothing we can't fill with glue. But this side, I need to put more water on. Let it sit for a bit, rub it in. And then this should help the fibers stretch a bit. I really shouldn't be doing it in this direction, but that's the only plywood I had right now. I should be doing it the other direction, but it's fine. We'll see. Let this soak in a bit. And we should be able to bend it. I just gotta be really careful not to pick it up by that edge. The problem always seems to be closest to the joint, right? Closest to where there's less fibers, like closer to the edge here. So that's the side I really gotta work. You hear that? But I think I got it.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
So it's a new day. As many of you saw, in an attempt to glue up my patch together project, I broke it. I got very mad. I took the night and decided to think it through. And I made a new piece properly. I made sure the grain on the top of the plywood went long ways, because that way bending it is much easier. And then I can glue that up. Should be good. Should be able to get it together. I'm just happy I redid it. This is much better than before, and we're gonna continue with the glue up. Real quickly, the reason why it didn't work was because I had the grain running this way on the plywood, and it was cracking when you went to bend it, no matter how wet you made it. So having it go this way, it's easier to stretch the grain longwise than it is to stretch it this way, because then it breaks. It cracks along the length of the grain, which is much easier to break than the lengthwise. So it was a better way to do it. I just didn't have the length I wanted. This should be fine. So we'll see. Glue it up. You see what I mean? Like, you see, long ways, it breaks along the grain. It's easier lengthwise. It's less likely to break. That's all. So I just pulled out of the clamps. I let it sit for about maybe 5-6 hours. It's now dark. It came out good enough for a laptop stand, I think. It's nice and strong for the most part. I'm trying to see if I want to keep... So it needs sanding. I was debating whether or not to paint it, but what I really... It's wobbly. I think one of them is slanted, but I was thinking about whether or not to fill these and paint it. I think what I'm going to do is just sand it, put a coat of... maybe stain it. No, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sand the whole thing nice, put a nice coat of Danish oil on it, and call it. Because I don't want to... I kind of like the layer lines in here, and it's kind of cool to see the angles, and I think for a laptop stand it'll be good if I feel that, you know, if I feel that I need to paint it or coat it with something, I always can. I really like the look of the bent, and I want to see the bent grain. I think that alone is worth it. So what I'm going to do is sand it nice with the palm sander, just really quickly. Plywood has a thin veneer, so you have to be careful. And then I'll do the rest by hand. Yeah, and then we'll put a nice coat of Danish oil on it, and that should be it. Here it is! It looks fantastic! I could have done a better job picking a piece of plywood, but the Danish oil revealed at the last second a bunch of scratches I had on here, but that's okay. This is the first time I've ever done this. You can see I made a lot of mistakes in the video. I made that catastrophic mistake in the beginning, and I recovered. I made a new piece. It looks great. I think it was a good decision to start over anyway, because trying to fix those cracks would have been terrible, and it would have looked awful. But this looks way better. Make sure when you do this, if you do this, the grain is perpendicular to the bend. That way the straight grain can bend with the curve as opposed to having the two grains parallel to each other and then breaking as you bend it along this way. That's what happened with the first one. So I think having it long way and redoing it just made me understand the physics and stuff behind bending this actually. And it was the proper move was to start over. So I think blessing in disguise really. It came out better than I could have hoped. I hope it gives me good use using my laptop on the couch because you know now that I'm working from home, so I think it's a good good opportunity to test this out. So if you guys have any other suggestions on how to improve this, let me know down in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching, and this has been Bill Builds, and don't forget to subscribe. Are for this kind of project, so Again, this was an experiment. I think it's going to work. To bend the, what do you call it? Come on.